Hi, Rigsters here, now with another episode in World of Warships land. Today I have per the World of Warships North America group I'm a part of a request for reviewing or at least doing a two-match review of the Nurnberg Tier 6 Credit Light Cruiser. The Nurnberg is a very wonky ship, and I'll show you what I mean in a moment here. We're going to first look at the armor setup of the ship. We're going to go right into it. The citadel on the ship is very weird. Most of the time, when you get hit from the front, or at least at a side impact angle like this, or like this, you're going to likely have a higher chance of a citadel because the ship raises the 70 to 50 millimeter plating upwards and it just slaps it down. So that's one weird thing about this ship. Another weird thing is, most of the firepower is in the rear of the ship. So basically this is really good for kiting, but it's not very easy to do if attacking. And since this ship needs range to work with, it could be very awkward to do kiting and attack positions. This is basically in World of Warships the improved version of the Königsberg, but unlike the Königsberg, the turrets are parallel in line, whereas the Königsberg has like a turret offset a little bit to make it a little easier. However, you get more hit points. In particular, it is buffed because of the captain's skills. It has 3 150 millimeters that, with the captain fire percent chance as of Commander Rework 1.0 as they call it, 9% instead of 8%. The HE pen is very serviceable with 38 millimeters. That's really good for a light cruiser. Most average like 34 or under. This allows you to pen more structures with HE. The AP is actually at ranges below 13 kilometers. Very interesting. It can work against certain cruisers, but they lack the post penetration. They lose a lot of shell velocity after about 10 to 12 kilometers, so it can be a hit or a miss with some cruisers when you're fighting with AP. The secondaries are okay, 5.9 kilometers, but this is not really a secondary ship, but it's there if you need it. The torpedoes, when you get into a brawling situation, is a lot of fun. They have very comfortable torpedo arcs, 5.9 to 6 kilometer range, reloads in 68 seconds. They have a nasty habit of getting knocked out, but if they're not knocked out, you can fire 4 by 3s, so you have two sets of 3 tubes, so you can launch 6 torpedoes in both directions if you're really fast. AA is average. I mean, it's not going to shoot down a lot of planes. It'll do okay, I guess, but the range of the AA is only 4.6 for the long range, so it's pretty lackluster for flak work. The maneuverability is below average. You have to have the hull turn half or higher to really get the rudder to respond, and the turning circle radius is okay. Concealment with camo and concealment expert knocks down to 11 if it's fired after secondary shell, and when it's on fire it's 13 kilometers. If you're not shooting at all, it's 11 kilometers. So it's okay, it's workable. Main gun range is 16.5 with upgrades. Well, at least the one you can do on the tree here. For upgrades, I would recommend doing main arm mod 1. Engine room protection, so your engine doesn't get knocked out. It has a nasty habit of doing that for most German cruisers, at least for the credit tree. They have a habit of just suddenly stop working. And for the number 3 slot, you either can do aiming system mod 1, which decreases the dispersion of the main battery shells. And this is probably more useful than main battery mod 2 in my opinion. But if you really don't like your main turrets being sluggish, you really can buff that. Secondaries is a joke. I don't know why they even have this as an option for this cruiser. But if you're really a bad person and you do co-op, I guess it could work. Of course, no AA gun mod 1. Come on, it's ridiculous. You only have 4.6 kilometers. You're not going to be shooting down planes for other players. It can defend yourself a little bit, but not a lot. I have no idea what the purpose of Torpedo 2 mod 1 would be, but this could work in co-op. I could actually see this working. Having a little faster torpedoes and traverse speed. This actually is really good for brawling bots. Not good against players. but this actually is serviceable for co-op. I'm going to be experimenting with throttle juking instead of using the steering gear mod, but you could do propulsion mod 1 or steering gears. Those are pretty useful. Damage control mod 2 is debatable. I mean, it does help cruisers, some cruisers. This one might benefit from any one of these three, but most players are going to do propulsion or steering gears. Propulsion's good for like throttle juking, like you can speed up and slow down like at the 6 knot range, like quarter speed faster. It helps with acceleration, it does not help with turning. Steering gears mod 1 helps with turning. For consumables, as the standard fighter and repair party. You can do defensive AA fire, but because of how it works right now, I don't know if that's really as useful. I mean, it's okay, I guess, but German cruisers have really good hydro. 3.75 torpedoes, detection range, and detection of ships 5.5. That's pretty good for like scouting out an area in short ranges. This actually is a really good destroyer killer because of the rate of fire and accuracy, within reason. As the shell velocity on these guns is 960 meters a second. Now that does peter out pretty quickly after like 10 kilometers, but it's within 10 kilometers is very effective in that regard, and that's usually when you engage destroyers. So for captain skills, the first set, I would do grease the gears, so your turrets rotate faster. It's 20.6 when you do that. Obviously increase fire chance. The next best one, I guess you could do priority target, but I'd rather use either consumable enhancement or power technician. Fill the tubes is kind of silly. I don't know why you would want to do that. Adrenaline rush is always useful. It is a 3-point skill. You could do that, or you could do survivability expert, increase your HP. I would say for the first set, you might want to stick with adrenaline rush more often, but survivability expert actually does help cruisers more than one thinks, especially at tier 5 and higher. And below tier 5, it's not as useful. Concealment expert is of course universal cruiser skill. 95% of cruisers will benefit from this. There's very few that it would be like you don't want to take it. Because why do you want to be detected sooner if you're trying to get in close to kill destroyers, for example? Inertia fuse for HE cells is really stupid because 38 millimeters of HE pen is more than enough. You do not need to decrease your fire chance even more because it has it pretty much baked in. Radio location could be useful. I'm not sure if that's great though. Another one, let's see, your top trade gunner. This can be useful for some cutting cruisers. This I've seen some players use top trade gunner for German cruisers. So this could be a valid option because what happens is if you're spotted and you're constantly shooting, this will help you like be able to put down more fire down range. But it is a situational skill. Outnumbered, I rarely see people do this skill. It might work for like cruisers like the US heavy cruisers or the British light cruisers, where it like does that if it's more hostile ships than allies within the firing range of your main battery. That can sometimes work, but it's very situational. It's not very consistent. And the last one, AA gunner. It works for AA cruisers like the Atlanta that I have, or it could work for like US and British cruisers. I could work on the higher tier German cruisers, but that's only if you're like working with other players and stuff. It's a situational skill. It's useful, but it's not mandatory. Alright, so now that I went over the basics and stuff, I'm going to take it into a match, so I'll see you there. Alright, so we're in a match. And let's see here. So we got like 3 tier 7s. Mostly tier 6, so this is like an average tier 6 match. No tier 8s. It's like kind of strange comments today already. So basically this is more of like a range fighter. To be honest, I don't know where to really position this ship since I haven't played it in a while, but I definitely don't want to be in the front lines, so I'm gonna slow down the ship and just go half speed. I definitely want to be near C more than B, because B is kind of more of where battleships go, I guess, per se. They don't seem to go quite as often to C, but I could be wrong. And the map is Haven. Yeah, Haven can be a 50-50, so depends on what you're trying to do. I'm going to try to support the Nicholas as best as I can, and hopefully it'll drop a smoke screen that I can take advantage of. So I'll start moving up a little more, and then I'll get into like a kiting position and see how that goes. One nice thing about the Nuremberg is because of the turrets are placed at the rear, I can face my ship rearwards once I get in a what I think is a comfortable firing solution. But since I don't know where they are, I can't really reverse kite here. It looks like 2 battleships are going down there. That's the Nisa now and the Colorado. So this is encouraging news. I want to keep following this Nicholas and see what happens. Let's see here what we got. Alright, we got a Nicholas inbound. I can definitely fire on that, so I'll start slowing down. Don't want to go past this rock cover. Let's see if I can blind fire him. No, I can't blind fire him yet. What is this Nicholas doing? Oh, he's laying the smoke screen. Okay. Don't want to pop the hydro just yet. Let's see what we got. They're all out of range, because my range with the range upgrade for Detect Tree is 16.5, which is really good for tier 6. It's near the top end of the ranges. And now I'm going to pop my hydro, because I'm detected. It seems like this propulsion module actually seems to be more helpful than I thought, because getting up to speed much quicker actually seems to be more helpful in a situation like this than just to be able to turn faster. It's still very sluggish though, as you can see. It doesn't really respond to almost more than half rudder shift. I don't know why. It's just like either a game or game mechanic design quirk. No idea. Oh, there's the Versace. That is I think it's a French cruiser? Or no, French cruiser. Let's talk about cruisers. They call a destroyer a cruiser. Ship misidentified. It's a destroyer. I think it might be French. Maybe. Well, I'm going to take advantage of the smoke screen that Nicholas has given me. There's the tier 5 Königsberg. Just trying to get into a reverse kiting position. Don't want to get too close though, because there's torpedoes flying there. I don't want to get too close to them. There, that'd be good. Right about there. So now I just start firing in the smoke. And you're going to sometimes have to pull more or less lead depending on the target. Takes about a couple of shots. I mean, it's been like almost a year since I played this ship. So I have to get used to the shells flying around. So I do apologize for my mediocre aim right now and not hitting anything. Come on. I'll get a hit eventually. I just have to refine the aim a bit. There we go. Now we're getting some hits. Oh wow, the King George just slapped him down. You see, that's exactly why players really struggle with the Königsberg and Nuremberg. He should have at least maybe slowed down or changed direction or course. And then here's a line. Speaking of changing course, I have to get out of here. So I'm going to turn to the right, so that way I can kite away while firing on him. But I want to make sure I get most of my firepower, which is in the rear, in position. So I just want to make sure, start turning away from him while firing at him. Just like so. You have to kind of multitask with reverse kiting. You have to make sure you don't hit the rock, for example, which is very easy to do in this ship. So I'm using the mini-map right now, looking at my little Corsair dot here. Now we're getting some good hits. And just want to keep wiggling around. Just like so. And that's what I mean by taking heavy damage, so... Sometimes taking damage is okay in this ship. It's a little bit better armored than the Königsberg, but not by much. At least on paper it is. So it's not as frequently citadel. It's not in Omaha, at least, so... At the very least, we'll have a little bit an easier time trying to take out this Leon, who just went dark, which is not good. I want to make sure he's spotted. I want to make sure I keep maneuvering. There we go. Yeah, I want to make sure... Sometimes you want to slow down and speed up. Yeah, I like this idea. So doing the throttle juke is actually easier than using the rudder shift. Because the rudder shift you can't seem to accelerate as quickly. Even though it doesn't make much difference past 6 knots. It does still at least increase a little bit the speed for the Nurnberg. So it looks like the enemy is clustering around D. So we need to do a breakthrough on C. Yeah, C. Need to break through on C. And figure out and see what's going on here. Aha. Okay. Well, let's see what we got. So, our battleship just died there. This is going to be an interesting fight with the King George. I do want to support him, because I know if I help him out, at least he'll have at least more of a chance of maybe whapping the Nurnberg. So, and since he already dev struck the Königsberg, this guy knows how to aim. Or at least he gets good rolls, so... I definitely want to support him as best I can. So I'm going to pass through the turrets here. Also, fun fact, back in the old days of World of Warships, these turrets did not pass through. They used to have to do a complete 180, which made it even harder to play back then than it is now. They finally corrected that, which to me was kind of ridiculous. I'm like, seriously? They don't do that, you know? I'm going to have to take a risky approach to this Queen Elizabeth. I'm going to try to flank him from the side here and see if we can get some torpedoes going off. Unload some AP because I see the Nurnberg right there. So I'm going to try to close the range on here and go aggressive. If the Queen Elizabeth is not supported by the Nurnberg, I can torpedo dump the Queen Elizabeth pretty easily. Or the King George can just simply casually blap him for a lot of damage, you know? You go, that's a lot of damage. Just want to try to get closer. This is not a fast cruiser. It only goes 32 knots. So it's not very, pun intended, it's not very fast. I can still outrun Queen Elizabeth a little bit, though. Alright. We're going to do a torpedo run here, and look at the angles. It's insane. It makes even destroyers jealous of how much torpedo room you got to do here. So he's going to turn in, so I'm going to drop the torp there. Oh, I'm going to switch it back to AP, or HE. I'm like so excited, I forgot what to do. Alright, so let's drop some more torpedoes here. There we go. And one nice thing about German torpedoes is they reload pretty quickly. There we go. And then just hope for the best, because I'm going to probably get whapped by this Leon. Yep. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. He dodged all my torpedoes. Wow. Well, I'm going to have to show my full broadsides and try to eliminate him. Which failed miserably. I don't know how he managed to dodge all those torpedoes. That's ridiculous. Wow. Well, that sometimes can happen with a torpedo run. They can sometimes just dodge torpedoes like a boss like that. So, I guess you could say good on him for being able to dodge there. Alright, I'll be back in port. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to stop the episode here. On the next one, I will show the credit and economy report and show one more match in the Nuremberg. So this is Rigsters' Journey, signing off for part 1. Alright, so part 2 of the Nuremberg. Let's see the post-economic report of that match. Oh boy. Didn't do a whole lot of damage. That's 89,060 gross. Let's see what we got for net. Alright, so we had the Zulu flag running. And we're on standard account. So if you subtract 14,844, let's see here. So 54 minus 14.84. So, in a sense, without that Zulu flag, I only would have made 39,160 credits. So not a whole lot of credits for that match. But it's not a terrible match. I mean, I definitely could have done better if the torpedo hits. If those torpedoes would have connected, I think the match could have been won. So I'm going to take it for one more match and do some concluding thoughts. So see you there. Alright, and we're now in a match. So, the best thing to do here for this match scenario, this is actually even better than the previous one. No tier 7s to worry about, but there's a lot more destroyers roaming around. I'm going to try to take D3 and use this rock cover to try to provide support to the Galleon and maybe the Iron Duke in Texas. There is a CV present for this one. It's a tier 6, so it's equal tier fight. And I also have a fighter plane, but they don't do a whole lot. I mean, they help, but they don't do much. They used to actually do a lot more prior to the CV reworks and stuff. So I'm going to just head down there and see if I can do more damage. My goal is to at least try to win and get more damage done here. It would be kind of nice. They want to demonstrate more of what the Nurnberg can do than just, you know, trying to do a bonsai torpedo run that backfires. So, for this one here, let's see where they're going. Alright, I can fire on that kamikaze once he crests the rock here. I have HE loaded. And also the other thing with German cruises, their HE damage, like base, is lower. That's why they have FHE baked in to compensate for less damage per hit. Which is kind of a little bit silly and also a little less fire chance. But at this tier it doesn't seem to matter as much because ships have lower fire resistance. The higher the tier you go, they have a little more fire resistance baked in. Kind of like a hidden modifier or multiplier, whatever you may call it. But it is true. There is actually the higher tier ships will resist fires a little more frequently than at lower tiers. Which kind of makes sense from a game balance perspective. It is kind of wonky though, in my opinion. Alright, so the kamikaze we're not going to be able to spot again. So I'm going to switch gears to attacking the Iron Duke. Oh, we're not going to be able to hit the Iron Duke from there. Alright, let's try it again. Maybe I'll get some more hits this time too. Yeah, I want to make sure we do shoot down some planes here. 2 planes shot down while we're trying to take on an Iron Duke with support of our own Iron Duke and Destroyer. Don't want to get more frontwards with the enemy here. I think this is about the comfortable range, which is about 14 to 16 kilometers. As you can see, the shells start slowing down after a while. I mean, it takes like 11 seconds to go 15.8 kilometers. But since this is a slow battleship, that's not going to be an issue. We even get him on fire, which is nice. But if you're doing this kind of open sea kiting in the Nuremberg, you want to always be moving. You don't want to throttle juke when you have this many battleships looking your way. And I just have a feeling that they are looking at me, so I'm going to start wiggling a bit. You usually won't get your front guns to engage that often when you're doing this kind of kiting. You have to rely on your rear guns to like move and kite. New York took some shots at me, but he didn't really connect, so that's not an issue there. Kamikaze R is still driving around. I'll just take some pot shots there. See if that will work. If not, I have to pull more lead. Just watching the mini-map to see where he's going. It's really hard to hit a fast-moving destroyer at 15 kilometers. It usually doesn't work out. So, none of those connected on the Kamikaze. There we go. The CV took care of the battleship there. So now we're going to close in a little bit and try to go a little bit closer. Just to see what else we got here. So on the south end of the flank, looks like it is in trouble. We're going to have to do a sustained push on the north here. They already took out the Farragut, which is good. So I'm going to try to push in a little bit. Something's still spotting me from 11 kilometers out. I don't know what is spotting me. It might be the other Kamikaze R. That's what I'm thinking. Oh boy. Our Iron Duke is probably going to go down. So we got Texas left. Oh, he did dodge the torpedoes at least. At least that'll help. Let's see what's going on to New York here. I could hit the New York. Let me try taking a shot there. Let's take some shots into him. It's the only valid target I can really shoot at. Fuso's too far away, and I don't really want to chase him down yet. There we go. Got a fire going. Yeah, sometimes you can use AP as well on certain battleship superstructures, like the New York. If I was a little bit closer, I would start firing AP if he's broadside. But I kind of want to stick with HE because of so many destroyers being around, even though it's a 6-second reload. Oh boy. Oh no. Well, it's time to retreat. I can't take on 2 battleships and 2 destroyers at the same time. Just gotta start turning around. And yep, this is where the citadels happen, because I had to start making a turn, so he caught me in the turn. Of course. And there's the other one. Okay, well at least I got Hydro going. Now I know where he's at. So I gotta start shooting at him. Let's see here. Got the AA going. Got a lot of things rolling around. Definitely don't want to eat destroyer torpedoes. I can eat CV torpedoes, but not destroyer torpedoes. It's like, gee, my knees. I hate these CV torpedoes sometimes, though. They're so annoying. It's like, I don't know what to do. I mean, I'll try to engage the other Kamikazes a little bit closer. Maybe I can take them out. Let's see what we got here. I have to pull a lot of lead, though. At least make him move a little bit so he doesn't have like an easy shot. Kamikazes are very annoying to take on at this tier. Oh, there's the other one. Yeah, I want to make sure I start firing on him. Jeez. It's just so many... Oh, up New York is trying to hit me. Luckily, he missed most of his shots. It's like, ay, ay, ay. There's just too many targets here. It's target saturation. This is why I wanted to start retreating, because I can't take on that many ships. This just does not logically make any sense. I'm trying to dodge his rocket plane attack. Alright, well, he did pop off 2k of me. Good. Good riddance. Gee, my knees. I want to make sure I keep maneuvering. I want to go... This is where Concealment Expert really comes into effect, because you really don't want to get detected right now. You want to try to stay dark for a little while. Or at the very least, escape these pesky destroyers that our CV is incapable of spotting. I don't want to fire it just yet, though. I want to start heading down as fast as I can. Down and away from them. And I want to wait till this guy shoots, so I can start peppering him. No, there's that annoying kamikaze R. Why did he put a fighter plane on him? That's so stupid. Alright, I think he fired, so I'm going to start shooting. He looked like he fired, so I'm going to start firing on him. His guns weren't even pointed in my direction, so that's just the best time to start pumping shells into him. And plus, the CV spotted me, so I'm going to start maneuvering a bit. It's like, seriously, you attacking me from the rear? Why? Why would you do this? It's like, are you stupid? It's like, what a moron. Oh, I see what he's trying to do. It's not entirely stupid. I see what he's trying to do, but it's not going to work. There we go. Just a simple dodge like that. I don't know why he thought firing on my rear like that was a good idea. It's like, that's where I can actually turn away the most, not the least. It's like, silly wad. But Jaos here gets his, you know, bull poop lucky shot hit, you know. I gotta love players that are able to do that. They'll miss like every single salvo but that one. Alright, so we're back from that match. It ended up being another loss, but it should be more profitable. 160,182 credits for doing 41,651 damage. So let's see here. So you subtract 26,697. So let's calculate how much we made here without the Zulu flag. 26. So without the Zulu flag, it would be 99,490 for that loss. If it was a win, this would probably actually break 100k. So you can make money playing this ship at a decent clip, provided you do at least 20,000 damage or more. Even on a lose like that, you still can at least do something economically. And an extra hit point pool allowed me to survive long enough to at least do noteworthy damage. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it to unleash its full capabilities like I had hoped, but it is kind of a wonky ship to play as is, and with the current meta being Deadeye and all that stuff, cruisers like this really can struggle at times for that reason. But I hope you enjoyed that video. I would say in conclusion, this is not the easy cruiser line to play, but if you're willing to do the work, you can still make it shine. It just depends on what you're trying to do. So this is Rigsters Journey, signing off.